Um, I thought it was a good performance from our team in general. We had some guys step up and play some different roles. Lindy played more point guard for us, and so we're still kind of tinkering with units and lineups and all that stuff. And I feel like our team's continuing to progress. I thought Corpus Christi did a good job of not allowing our pressure to really turn them over too much, which made it even more impressive that we had the defensive performance we had, because it's not like they were just throwing the ball away. We did a good job keeping the ball in front of us. And we only had really two kind of small moments in the game, the beginning of the second half, and then we're up 18 with 2 minutes and some seconds to go and gave up 8 straight points. Other than that, I feel good about where we are defensively, and I feel good that our offense is coming along a little bit.
Before this game, I know you emphasized kind of the team getting creative on offense and creating more good looks. How do you feel? What did you see in the offense today?
It's still a work in progress. We have to identify the right guys making the right plays in the right situations. And we still have guys probably getting outside of themselves a little bit too much and really forcing things that aren't there, maybe 1 or 2 dribbles too much. So we've got to correct that by just moving the ball a little bit better. I think our ball movement hasn't been as good the last 2 games, and we need to get back to that.
I know you'd also mentioned how Cam kind of needed to take some pressure off himself. What did you see in him today?
I thought he played like Cam needs to play. He was flying around. Anytime we go a game where Cam doesn't hit the floor 5 or 6 times, it's probably not good. And if he doesn't shoot 6, 8, 10 free throws, he's probably not playing the way he needs to play to be most effective. Got to the free throw line, got to the offensive glass, which helped. And then because of that, he was able to score some points. So glad to see his effort back.
Second half, you opened up with that all-bench lineup. What did you see in that group, and what's it like to kind of have those younger players step up?
Well, we actually started the original lineup, but they didn't handle it the right way, and didn't start with the right kind of energy. Gave up a couple easy baskets, weren't communicating, and it's a luxury of having depth. As you can put some other guys in there, and you don't necessarily lose. We actually picked up our energy. Duncan Muth, big dive on the floor. Luke Major with a big drive and a big rebound. It really just invigorated our team and got the rest of the guys going.
This was really the first time you haven't had, in a competitive game, haven't had a captain on the floor. What do you think that says maybe about the guys developing behind them?
Yeah, I think it's a good sign, that early on there's a trust building process to this thing. And again, not that I don't trust, but you have to earn that through the way you play. And I'll give you an example, like Mo Kalu, who struggled, didn't play a couple games. He's had his best 3 practices consecutively that he's had since he came back. You always worry about where guys are, especially a guy like him who hasn't played that much, who on a team as a freshman has struggled, has always been good enough to be on the court no matter what, how he's going to handle that. But I thought he's been really engaged. And then you look at the stat sheet and you wonder if the kid understands the impact. He only made 1 basket, he missed 2 free throws and had 3 turnovers. But I thought his engagement led to him being ready to make that shot when he was open, being ready to get those rebounds that were available. So as those guys, like we said, at some point, some of these young guys they got to be ready to play. There's only 3 older guys, really. And so as we continue to get better and those guys continue to emerge in their roles, our team will improve.
Coach, did you make a decision at halftime to push tempo a little more? It seemed like the offense was a lot more fluid early in the second half.
Yeah, we actually made the decision before the game that we wanted to try to push tempo. I don't know if you noticed, we tried to trap a little bit more and really create some opportunities. They did a good job, and give them credit. They didn't panic and didn't turn it over as much. But our pressure did force them into some quicker shots. We just didn't convert offensively as well as we should have in the first half. And then a couple of those times we did force turnovers or did force bad shots, we would turn it over. We had 8 turnovers in the first half, which led to 10 points for them. Otherwise, they're probably not in the 20s for the first half. So you've got to go back and figure out where the turnovers coming from and how to cut them down.
Isaac had 2 big blocks and then the steal at the end of the first half, which kind of injected it with the slam after, and then the one where he got his eye hit. How has his defense grown in these last few games? It seems like he's being more pressure on the ball.
Yeah, he's learning, the different. It's a totally different ball game than high school. And as talented as he was, and he played for a really good coach and a really good program, won a state championship. But the level of preparedness that you need at this level is night and day. And now, 12 games into his college career, he's starting to understand how to prepare himself to play, how to really take a scouting report and study the strengths and weaknesses of his opponent. And I think over the course of his career, he's going to emerge as one of the best defenders in our program.
You mentioned earlier on that he's one of the people who can kind of come to you early in film and has shown up in your office early for film. Is that kind of an attribute that you just mentioned again that has really shown in the growth that he shows up for film and does all these extra things as well?
Yeah, it's a maturity that quite honestly, a lot of freshmen don't have that early. Don't understand it. You just go out there and you're talented, and it's natural. It's not anybody's fault. They've always been good enough just to play the game athletically. And now, in order to have success, it takes a little bit more studying and preparation. And, it's a great time of year with no class, right, to deflect their attention that they can really focus on just what do they do to help our team win for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Mike Cunningham didn't get in the game today. Was that still for disciplinary reasons?
Yeah, him and Kent both are still out at this moment from a game standpoint. They're back in practice. But, I expect them at some point to return to the lineup.
Are those related situations or just separate incidents that happen to be at the same time?
Just separate incidents happen to be at the same time.
And so you aren't sure yet if you'll have them back for Wednesday when you start Big 12 play?
Well, they're available. I mean, they're available. They were
Okay.
available today. I just made a decision not to play them.
Coach, after the last game, you said you put weather's aside and talked to him and said, you want to come back after the break, refreshed. Did you feel he came back at kind of just mind clear?
Yeah, again, the numbers don't bear it out that he's playing out of his mind or playing at the level we expected him coming into the season. But I do sense that, maybe he feels a little bit less pressure out there on the court. I think having other guys who can help make plays when he's on the floor, having Lindy maybe initiate offense and him play off the ball a little bit more is a way to help him, so he doesn't feel like he has to make every play while he's on the court, because you wear yourself down. And the one thing that I noticed today was he was much more engaged defensively. Had a big deflection and steal that led to a jump ball in the backcourt. Those are the plays that will ignite him offensively, because he's a great athlete. Tremendous hands, great anticipation, good feet. And we can get him and likely defensively out there harassing people can really create some offense for you.
Him and Curtis obviously spent a lot of time together last year. How do they pair together?
Pair well. And when you can really shoot the ball, it helps in a lot of ways. Kurt can stretch the defense for us. And obviously, even the shots he missed today felt like good shots. And the other team expects him to make it too. They're worried why he's so open. So having him and Desagua and Lindy Waters and Cam, guys that can all shoot the ball, spread the floor, it'll give Likely and Weathers more opportunities to drive and create offense off the dribble.
You feel pretty good about where you're at heading into Big 12 play?
I do. A lot because for the same reason that we're 6-6, the schedule we've played. I don't think on Wednesday when Iowa State rolls out a 6'6" point guard and a 6'5" shooting guard that our guys will look around and be like, man, I haven't seen this before. We've seen size, we've seen athleticism, we played against great teams and great coaches, and so I feel like at least our guys won't be, caught off guard by the talent level that they're going to face for the next 2.5 months.